Ms. Davenport.
Yes. I'm testifying against the bill because, like my testimony against House Bill 2 last week, it's because both bills are a redistribution of wealth. We've seen that with charter schools. That was a redistribution of wealth. Vouchers are also a redistribution of wealth. And I'm baffled by the people representing religious schools that come here and say, I want to flee the government schools only to accept government-regulated school choice. Makes zero sense. The very government that helped break the system, the body here for decades has helped break the system. And then we're presenting this counterfeit solution of subsidies, which for those of you who are in the Republican Party like I am, it does violate the party principles, the priorities, the platform, the plank, all of it. Chairman West, who's my GOP chair in Dallas County, he came out with a statement about Plank 84. These bills don't match the Republican Party planks, the platform. You can't reconcile the two. So let me go into how it was broken. We talk a lot about Milton Friedman because he loved the idea of a broken system because that's an opportunity. That's why they call it a monopoly now. When I was in school, they didn't call our schools monopolies. That's a marketplace term because they view it as a marketplace. Our children are viewed as commodities. That's why there's so many vendors feeding at the trough. The special ed cap was set in 2004. You were on the school board, Representative Buckley, in Killeen when this happened. That was set by the legislature, and the person who sat in your chair was the one who set it. That was Grusendorf. And you know, Grusendorf is back to lobby for vouchers with liberty for the kids. So the same people who break the system come back to remake it with vouchers, offering a solution that is not a solution. The solution is to fix the schools that were broken by this body and the federal government.
Wrap up your testimony. You're at 2 minutes.
I also want to point out Louisiana is often heralded as this wonderful example that Marath thinks is a great example of school choice. The legislation was written a year prior to the hurricane, and then the waters had not receded when they were moving in to charterize the district, and look at it now. Not a solution.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Members, any questions for this panel? Representative Frank?
Well, I would just note, Alan West, less than 2 years ago, said this was a civil rights issue of our day, but
Well, he supports school choice. He doesn't
political.
support these bills because they don't align with the requests of the party. So these aren't clean bills. That's why. The bills have strings. That's not in the party plank. No strings. No strings attached.
All right. Representative Bryant, do you have a question?
Ms. Davenport, would you repeat what you testified to about the special ed cap?
Yes, it was an arbitrary, illegal cap that was set in 2004. And when I approached Kent Grusendorf, who was the chair of this committee, I said, were you there and did you set that cap? And he said, yes, I was there. And he regretted it. He knew it did not result in what they were trying to do. And that was to deny children special needs services, and they could not go above 8.5%. So my district serving 12 would be penalized for serving more than 8.5%. So when I say they broke the system, that means they were purposely denying children with special needs services to save money. It's the most egregious example that I can think of thus far.
I'm curious about the Republican opposition to this bill. Being a Democrat, I'm not, but it does seem inconsistent for a classical conservative to be in favor of using public money to pay people to go to private schools. Is that part of your theme, or am I just inventing my own testimony there?
You mean, are you asking if it's my theme to be against it because it's a subsidy?
You're an active Republican.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
Former precinct chair and very active, yes.
Right, and you're testifying against this bill.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just asking if at the heart of your whole approach is that classically no conservative would be in favor of using government funds to
Correct, because we're against universal health care, we're against universal basic income, but universal school choice, which is not universal because it doesn't serve all kids. And so yes, it flies in the face of conservative principles, but because of the money that is pumped into these campaigns, like I think Representative Schoolcraft should recuse himself because of the money that the governor gave him to buy that seat. No, I'm serious. I think this is a really serious issue.
Well, hold up just a second.
Yes, sir.
Don't make a personal attack against
Was
a
that
member on
personal?
the committee. Yeah,
that was
pretty personal.
That was public. That's all public. Go to Transparency Texas website.
That is not the bill before us. The bill before us now, if you'll
It's all about the
continue to
bill. It's the only thing the
speak on
governor
bill.
wants is school choice. That's number one. At the Republican convention, we actually bumped it to number 9, but it's the only thing the governor wants. That's why we don't solve. That's why we've had 6 sessions about school choice, but not about discipline. Whatever happened in your district is atrocious. That's a discipline issue. We're not addressing it. So you can say all you want.
All right, members, any more questions for this
Thank you
panel?
for your courage.
All right, Representative Schoolcraft.
Ms. Davenport, interestingly, school choice is not a new issue to me. It has nothing to do with the governor. In 1989, 91, I was here advocating for school choice. I filed to run because of school choice, and it was over a month after I filed that I ever first heard from the governor. He had no idea who I was. Now, you talked about this being a redistribution of wealth. To me, this would be the state paying a private company to perform a service. I mean, is that an irrational statement?
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
Okay, so we're not paying the schools to provide a service, which would be education?
Well, that's in our Constitution, Article 7. I know it's inconvenient, but that's what's written in there.
No, I mean, answer my question, please. Are we paying for them to provide education?
Yes, we are
Okay.
paying for them.
All right. So we're subsidizing them because we're paying them. Is that
No.
what you're saying?
Public free schools are in our Constitution. That's
No.
It's not to pay for
I'm
private
trying to
schools.
understand the concept of subsidy here. How are we subsidizing a private school? Are we paying them for a service?
you're taking public dollars and you're putting them into private hands.
Okay.
through a subsidy.
Do you drive on the highways?
Yes, and I don't build my own road.
No, you don't. The state pays a private company to provide a service to build our roads.
And you're
are we
suggesting-
are we doing that to subsidize the highway contractors?
No, there's an RFP, there's a process, but I'm saying I can't build my
We
own
ha- we-
road
we-
because I want my own private road, is what I'm saying.
Well, no.
That's what a voucher
Paying
is.
paying a highway contractor to provide a service is not a subsidy to them. Paying a private school to provide a service, which reduces the state's burden, by the way, is not a subsidy. That's all my point is. Thank you.
Let's
All
look
right,
at like
members,
toll
any
lanes.
more questions
You've got
for this
public school,
witness?
you got private school. Now you're asking for another taxpayer-funded
Representative
toll lane.
Talarico, you have the.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm wondering if a better analogy is a toll road,
Yes, I just did that.
where people who make a certain amount of money are able to use that, and everybody else not able to. And I mean, the last time I checked, toll roads aren't very popular in the state of Texas.
Correct. So, yeah, we have public schools, that's one lane, taxpayer-funded toll lane. We've got charter schools, a dual system that hasn't moved the needle or lifted all boats, as we say. And then we've got vouchers, which will be a third lane. And then if Betancourt's bill passes, that's going to be virtual ed we'll be paying for. So we will absorb all those systems. So it's not going to save us any money. It's not really going to drain the public schools. It's actually going to add a new tax, like Holly said. New taxpayer-funded lane.
All right, members, any more questions? All right, thank you very much, panel.